forceps. They stick to human tissue. So imagine you're having a facelift and the plastic surgeon is doing the final touches, but the tissue sticks to the forceps. Maybe it's not going to look quite as good as it was supposed to look. And maybe the plastic surgeon's going to get a little frustrated and it's going to take longer to do the work. And John said, that's a problem I think I can solve with a new silver-nickel alloy that he had developed. Well, it turned out the business didn't grow very fast, focusing on plastic surgeons. So he said, I wonder if there's another surgical specialty that has an even bigger problem that I could solve. And he discovered one, and it's neurosurgeons. And neurosurgeons work in two places on our bodies, in our spines and in our brain. So I hope you never have brain surgery, and I hope I never have it. But if they have to take a little tumor out, I hope the forceps don't stick to some other tissues, because I kind of want to keep all the brain cells I can, right? John Thorne built a fantastic business, sold it some years later to Stryker. Stryker is very happy. John and his investors are very happy too. Why? Because John focused on solving problems, not on thinking about products. The next one, I call it think narrow, not broad. Like John Thorne, an entrepreneur I'm going to tell you about focused on a problem, but thought very narrowly about a target market. But the big company wisdom doesn't want narrow target markets. It wants big target markets, right? Because you've got to move the needle. Why would a big company mess around with something small? But like John Thorne, Philip Knight and Bill Bowerman, when they founded Nike, a company we all know very well today, had identified a problem, but it was a problem that a very narrow target market had. Phil Knight was a runner, a distance runner, and he could run almost not quite a 4-minute mile, and Bill Bowerman was his track coach. And there's a problem with their shoes, because running shoes in those days were really made for sprinters, and when sprinters train, they run around a track. It's a nice, smooth track. But distance runners don't run around tracks. Where do they run? They run on country paths and dirt roads, and they're always stepping on sticks and rocks, and so they get sprained ankles. And they run mile after mile after mile, and they get shin splints. Well, Knight and Bowerman said, we need better shoes, shoes that are made especially for distance runners, especially elite distance runners who really train a whole lot. So we're going to build a better shoe that's going to have better lateral stability, a wider footbed. It's going to have a little more cushioning in it to protect against those shin splints. And by the way, if it's a little bit lighter weight, a few ounces lighter times all the steps in running a mile or a 2-mile or a marathon, it's going to make for faster race times too. So we know what happened with Nike, right? Once they developed the skills to design shoes explicitly made for a target market, a narrow one, and once they learned to import those shoes from Asia, and once they learned to get athletes to adopt those shoes, what did they do? Well, John McEnroe in tennis, Michael Jordan and basketball came next, and we know what the story is with Nike today. They're the global leader in athletic footwear and much more. Okay, the next one, asking for the cash and riding the float. Big companies today are awash in cash. Even in these tricky times we're in today, there's cash all over the place, right? Merck, in 2018, spent all this money giving money back to shareholders through stock buybacks and dividends, and they could only find $10 billion worth of R&D to do with all that cash. Is something wrong here? I think this just doesn't feel right. But for entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and the Tesla team, cash is the lifeblood of the entrepreneurial venture. So when Musk joined the Tesla team, he said, well, what's the plan here? And the team had a plan. It was to build a really fancy sports car, make a lot of money from that one, use that money to build a somewhat lower priced car, make some money from that one, and then we're going to build a mass market car that more people can afford. And in so doing, we're going to make a real dent in the emissions problem that the global automobile industry creates. Well, what Musk said is, well, let's go see if we can sell some cars. So they did a little roadshow in California, and they invited people on this little roadshow with 3 characteristics. Number 1, they cared about the environment. Number 2, they were wealthy. And number 3, they thought it might be cool to have the next big thing parked in their driveway. Well, guess what? They sold 100 Tesla Roadsters for $100,000 each, cash on the barrelhead, pay tonight. How much, do the math, how much money have they got to start building Roadsters? 10 million US dollars in the bank, in cash, before they had built Roadster number 1.